hope you're well. Today I have a little bit of a different video, and I guess you can already tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, but I thought maybe some of you could get some inspiration for painting or drawing these beautiful crystals. So it's going to be a crystal haul today. I've got all the crystals here that I purchased today, and I am particularly excited about them because at this point I feel that I have such a strong connection to crystals. Okay, so I have one more crystal sitting in a separate little box, which I want to do right at the end as kind of like a surprise crystal, because I just think it's so unique, and I have seen it before, but it feels to me like a rare crystal. I haven't learned enough about it to know whether it's a rare one or not. All I do know is that it's not as easily available to buy as other crystals, and so I was really happy. So today I had a little chat with with a new friend, and she recommended this crystal shop, which I actually completely forgot is not too far from us. And I got so excited, I couldn't wait. So after we had our lemonade, it's super hot here by the way, I went on my way to that shop just to kind of see what they have. And once I got there, I was really blown away with the selection they have. And it's a tiny little shop, and the crystals are crammed at the back of the shop, and it's very little light there, so it's quite difficult to find and look for them, but I was drawn to things that I knew I wanted. So that was an interesting experience. Also, I have become very sensitive towards the energy of the crystals that they release. And so when I entered the shop, I felt this super dense energy, and it was kind of very jumpy. So I felt all the crystals releasing their energy in such a small space. It was a little bit overwhelming, but interesting to feel. And soon after I left the shop, I became so energized. I felt this wave of excitement and inspiration and just, you know, really lovely, lively energy. And thereafter, when I came home, I cleared all of my crystals, and I felt a complete sort of peace and relaxation. So that's all very interesting. But if you want to see the crystals that I have prior to this haul, which I have a little collection by now, I have loads of palm stones, so something like this, and they're all different crystals. If you want me to share those, I'm really happy to do, but do let me know in the comments below. So let's jump to this haul today. So most of the crystals I am familiar with and know and have read about them fairly enough. There is one thing, however, that has a little interesting story, I think, but we'll get there. So first of all, I really wanted to get a cluster of clear quartz, and they had a few, and this one was shining so beautifully compared to the others, although it's, like I said, it's a dark part, the back of the shop, that it just was reflecting light. It was just doing something. And so I had to get it, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, I could just like look at it continuously. It's got crystals coming out of this, and then I guess you could stand it on here, or you could lay it down here, but I prefer it laying it down so that the crystals kind of, the bigger crystals point towards you, because that's where the energy is coming from. By the way, if you are interested in how to clear or cleanse your crystals, you need to read up on it, and there's 3 different ways. There is water, running cold water, just leaving them under running water, but you need to know which crystals are water soluble, so you can't do that with every crystal. There's tiny little crystals here, just so many, The reason clusters are so wow, I just found one which is just perfect. I wonder if I can show it. Look at this baby right there. Oh my goodness, it's just perfection. Wow. I mean, it's just mesmerizing. I could just sit here and look at it forever. Yes, so you need to know which crystals you can't do that with. There is another way of clearing them is burning either the wood, the Sabo Pablo, I think it's called wood, or sage. Burning is called smudging with sage. The other thing is a singing bowl, so you can do that because the vibrations just sort of, you know, move the energy. So selenium is this type of crystal, which is water soluble, so you can't put it under water, but it is self-cleansing, so you don't need to do anything with it. In fact, you can use it to cleanse your crystals, so you can place them like that, and you can you know, clean them that way. So that's that. There's also little bowls that you can buy, so I keep one by my bed where I place the crystals that I use often in that bowl. So if I use them overnight, for example, I place them in the morning in the bowl, and I know they'll be ready to go in the evening again. There's also wands you can buy. They're quite nice to keep, you know, in a bowl with your selection of crystals and things like that. So, but there's a lot to take in. I only been learning this for a few weeks. There's certain crystals you can't keep together. There's certain crystals that work beautifully together because they're doing the same energy release. Some of them are counteracting. So it's just such an abundance of information, and I feel so drawn to it. So that's how you can cleanse or clear your crystals. And the reason you need to do it is because imagine in a shop when everyone is touching them, some people are putting thoughts into them, and you don't want to have a running energy through the crystal. They kind of feel a little bit, you know, wacky when you get them from a shop, if you're sensitive towards the energy, because there's just too much going on, and the vibration is so different and so strong because there is a lot of information that has been put into them. So you need to clear them so that they're nice and ready to go for you. And then you obviously need to also you know, do like a manifestation where you ask them to do a certain thing for you and how you want to use them for meditation, etc. Then in between uses, you also need to charge them as well. That you can do by placing them under sun or moonlight. So again, you need to study which minerals work well with that, with sunlight, and which you can't put in the sunlight because they will be the sun can make them pale, sort of bleach them. So amethyst, for example, you can't put it in the sun. Keep it away from the sun. So that's that. Now you're probably thinking, when on earth we're going to carry on looking at the crystals? Okay, so I thought that would be quite useful for you to know. So here is the clear quartz. Now clear quartz is a very significant and very regularly used crystal because it's an amplifier. So whatever crystal you will combine it with, it will make that crystal work even stronger, even more powerful. And a cluster has the beauty about it that from the points of the cluster, it's sending the energy. So it's basically, imagine it's sending it everywhere. So wherever the points are pointing, that's where it's sending. If I just have one, I can work with that specific one, but it's only sending energy from this end, from the point. So if you have many of them, that's just kind of, you know, going to do a lot of work. And also they're beautiful to put in a spot in your room where the light will hit it, because it will create these beautiful reflections of light across the room. And imagine that being the energy sent through your living space. So they're really beautiful. So that's that. Next one, we have a smoky quartz, and I don't know why, but it seems to be a lot more expensive in terms of, so just to give you an idea, this was £20 and this is £2, and they're sort of half size. So I wonder why, but that's the thing. So clear quartz I already have in a palm stone like this, but I also wanted to have a point as well. So these are again fantastic for meditating with, and they are great for repelling bad energy and things like that. Okay, next one, we've got citrine, and this is a citrine tower, which is really, really beautiful. Just gorgeous. So wherever it's a tower, it means the energy is going to come out of this point. If it's a double-ended double-ended tower, or like in fact I'll show you, one second. So I have as an example here a rose quartz, and you can see it's double-ended. So these are great for chakra meditation because they are opening up the chakra blockages and sort of sending and sort of receiving at the same time. So that's going through. So that's that. Then in terms of, so we covered clusters, we covered points, pyramids. Oh, pyramids are different, so they're the more kind of smaller ones. Then there is also tumblestones, so these are great for grids or just to kind of, you know, have in your hand just to massage it when you may be watching TV or something like that. And then what else do we have? Palm stones is this type of a thing, so it feels really good to just hold it in your palm. Yes, so spheres. Spheres are basically they're transcending or sending the energy from every, you know, dimension basically. So another clear quartz, so I've got a separate one here. I've got a nice bigger than this that I like to meditate with. So I use it quite often, so I wanted another bigger piece. Also good for grids, so I've got two bigger pieces which I can put on each end. And then we have this rutilated quartz, which is beautiful. I only have one with golden little threads. I didn't have a black one, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. Okay, so we've got all that covered. So in terms of citrine, I also got some tumblestones, and these are for grids, and I really like citrine. So got 4, and I also got 4, and this is in fact why I went to the shop today, because I found an online shop which does really beautiful fantastic quality crystals, and I placed an order with them and got an email that this one is out of stock. So I really wanted it for my grid, so basically you know, thought I'll go to the shop, and I ended up buying a lot more than that. But yeah, I did get the carnelian. I do have a beautiful carnelian palm stone as well. It's a beautiful stone to meditate with if you need some answers, or if you can't make a decision about something, or if you sort of are feeling a little bit stuck in a situation and you need to figure out how to deal with it. Meditating with this stone is really good. So yeah, that definitely helped me. Okay, then we have kyanite. Now there's something about kyanite that I really like. I have a necklace with kyanite in there, and I really like wearing it. Kyanite and moonstone. Then I have a mini cluster here, which I thought is just super adorable. Clear quartz cluster. I mean, how gorgeous is that? Ah, just beautiful. Okay, now we're coming to desert rose. I saw this one mentioned by a YouTuber that I started watching regarding crystals, and she's a really lovely girl. I'll try to leave her link down below. She's got, I think, about half of the amount of subscribers that I do, but I think she started recently, and I really like her vibe, if that makes sense. So there you go. She mentioned this one, and before she did that, I never saw this thing. So it's a desert rose, and I'm not too familiar with it, but I definitely think it's just so gorgeous. If it looks like there's tiny little petals, the formation of the crystal is just on another level. So beautiful. Okay, then of course obsidian. Now obsidian is a really strong repellent of black energy, so if there is anything negative there, it's a good strong protective stone. And I have a number of different varieties of obsidian. I have a palm stone, I have this, which is basically a raw state of it. It's what it is, it's a volcanic lava, and it then solidifies into this formation. So yeah, I love having this stone around. Now, what I need help with, if you're still here with me, is this stone. I feel like I am a seasoned crystal lover, yet I have no idea what this stone is. And what was interesting about it is that it was in the same box as the obsidian. I asked the lady who works at the shop, and she looked like she didn't know much about stones. In fact, it was a bit funny, but in the end she was asking me a lot of questions, and I was quite proud that within a few weeks I have a good knowledge about them. But anyway, this is clearly not obsidian, but what is it? I have no idea what it is. I was so attracted to this stone, even though I had no idea. I'll try to research it and see if I can find, but yes, it's attracting me in the same way as labradorite does. And speaking of which, I also got this ring today. And what I wanted to mention about the rings, so when you are wearing certain minerals or crystals on you as jewelry, make sure they're in contact. So when you're buying rings, for example, make sure that this part of the stone will be in touch with your skin, because that means you're constantly in contact with it. So when you're meditating, you're holding the stone. And same thing as you go about throughout your day, if you want the crystals to protect you, or give you energy, or make you feel calm, whatever it is that you are wanting from crystals to achieve, just make sure it's in contact with you. I have another ring here, which today I went to a jeweler and asked them if they can change that for me. So beautiful moonstone, which I absolutely love. So this one is supposed to be my birthstone, and it's designed in a really peculiar way. So when you are wearing it, it's actually made so that your skin doesn't touch the stone. I don't know who the jeweler was, but clearly not someone who's knowledgeable about crystals. And also it's quite uncomfortable here. So I'm going to get it remade so that basically we end up with the same situation where I can wear it and have it in contact with my skin. So make sure when you're buying rings, especially if they're this size of a gemstone, that they are in contact. Okay, so I think this is it. Oh. Now to the exciting bit. So let me just move this around here. Put my beauties back in here. So, I feel like showing off this beauty here. It's just so gorgeous. Okay, so this thing, Have you ever seen anything like that? It just looks like someone went to Mars, got a chunk of pebble there and brought it back. So, I mean, it looks like someone just cut off these crystals straight like that. I don't know, I have to read more about it. I have seen this crystal. Someone showed it. Look at that. This area here is green. And the rest of it is a bit orangey. So someone showed it. And I think actually the same girl that I mentioned about the desert rose. But I couldn't find it anywhere, like online shops or crystal markets that I went. So when I saw this again somewhere at the back of the shop on the shelf where you couldn't even get close to it, I couldn't believe my eyes. First of all, it's a very good weight. It's a good size. The size that I did see were about 1/3 of it, even on pictures in books. So this one is gorgeous. Let me get you the name for it. Okay, so I found it here. So you can see these are much smaller little clusters. This is the obsidian. And these are the clusters, so you can see they're quite small. This is a very large specimen. And so they're called aragonite. And it's right here for stability. This book, by the way, is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Crystal Fix, it's called. I read pretty much all of it. I'm just individually reading over and over just to learn about certain crystals. But it's a fantastic book. I think I will be doing a book review for it soon. Yeah, so the story here, I need to look up how valuable this is, because like I said, I couldn't see it as regularly featured as, for example, clear quartz. So then there were a few of these and there was no price, because the lady was just covering for I think the main person that works there. She had to call someone to figure out what the price was, and they said £6, and I thought surely they must be wrong, but I'll take it. So it's the size of an egg, really nice and heavy, stunning specimen, and it's only £6. So I have a feeling they got it wrong, but who knows, maybe not. So that is it for today. I hope you had a really nice time looking at these beautiful crystals, and there's just something that makes me very happy with this selection at the minute. I wonder whether they're working well together, and maybe this is why they're just sort of, you know, quite sort of giving me a positive vibe altogether, because there's certain stones that are so strong and powerful that they're kind of overwhelming on its own. So I've got I ordered a palm stone of the labradorite, and it ended up being probably 3 times bigger than I expected. So usually palm stones are kind of like of this size. And by the way, this is supposed to be sodalite, as is this. And if you're a watercolor lover, do you remember the sodalite watercolor? So apparently it's made from this. So anyway, yeah, so that one is a huge thing like that, and it's so powerful that it kind of yeah, you need to take a little minute to digest all of the information and the energy that it's sending through. So I thank you so much for watching. Let me know whether it's something you enjoyed, I would like to have featured more often. And also my intent is, of course, to be drawing and painting these, so I will do that soon. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.